Hey kids!
Hello!
How you doing? It's Mark Miller. Campbell's with me today. How you doing,
Hello.
Campbell?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm like doing okay, I think. I am under a little bit of pressure, as you know, to put together a demo that I'm going to be recording for Build on Monday. And it's been about a 20-minute video on demand session I'm doing. And for that, I wanted to have some really cool visuals for it. And so what I decided to do is hijack our show today, Campbell, because, you know, time. And instead of working on the super number that we were working on last time, I thought I would take that time back that I need so desperately in the preparation of this and start working on the visual effects for that demo.
Yeah, okay.
That's what I thought I would do. And so with that, let me switch over to like this screen right here. And we'll kind of give you a bit of a sense of where we're going to go. And I say that screen. Actually, I think I'm going to switch and give you a sense of the what we're looking at in terms of the here we go. What the visuals are going to look like. So the visuals are designed for to help explain the templates in CodeRush. And actually, these are new set of templates for VS Code. And so I'll give you kind of an example of that. So for example, if you want to create a function, you use the letter F for a function. And then you follow it up with the type of the function you want to create. Like, for example, the letter B for Boolean. Okay? All right? So got a sense of what's going on? So what I have is a bunch of combinations kind of set up here with the visuals. And what I want to do is I want to make those visuals, I want to make those combinations, I want to light them up and work in response to key presses, keystrokes. That's what I want to do.
Keystrokes on the Stream Deck or keystrokes on the keyboard?
On the Stream Deck is what I want to do. Thanks for that clarification. That's exactly what I want to do. And so to do that, I'm going to need to control the streaming tool that we use, which is called OBS. And that's what we're going to need to do. Because I've got one of these images. The problem is here, I can't just, the part that makes this tricky is I can't just turn it, I can't just turn the video on. If I turn the video on, it's always visible. The video plays to the end, and then I can't turn it on a second time because OBS won't let me turn it on a second time because it's already on.
Yeah, so we want to turn it off basically once a certain...
Right, I have to turn it off after it's done. And so what we need to do is we need to write software that basically triggers it and then turns it off. To do that, I think I'm going to build it right inside the D&D app. That's what I think I'm going to do. Now, this is not advisable, Campbell, what I'm about to do, but I'm pressed for time and I've already got a lot of the pieces I need inside the Dungeons & Dragons app. What is recommended, I'll just point that out so you know, is that if you do, you want to write something that's kind of standalone, you write it standalone in its own app. But because I've got so many pieces already in here, specifically I've got a class in here called the OBS Manager, I think. Taking longer than I thought it would be to find it. I just scroll down. Sounds like I got a dog that wants to go outside. Okay. I don't know. I did get an error on load, which was unexpected. I took a screenshot of it. Here's the error I saw on load right here. Let me crop this. Pop that down there so we can zoom it in bigger. And read it. Kind of interesting because when I closed, everything was okay, and I opened it, got the error. I reopened it a second time, saw the error a second time as well. I was like, that's not good. How are we doing here? Okay, there we go. So we got, that's the class right there. So these other things that also say OBS Manager.
Yes, those are, yeah.
That's a property called OBS Manager.
And then those are the blue icon that is private.
Yeah, private only, and it's a field.
Yes.
So that's a property.
And then,
I mean, I can have a getter and a setter. I can have side effects if I access it or if I write to it or read from it.
and then the purple cubes are methods, right?
Right, exactly. This means it's a constructor because it's got the parens right
Yeah.
there. So that's how we create it. And this is just an event handler called OBS Manager _ scene change. An event handler is just a method. And the reason I can tell it's an event handler is because of this style of naming that I use. Anyway, this is the guy that's kind of powerful and interesting in here. You can see some of the methods that it has here. There it is right there. Is there another class inside here? There's one called Set Source Visibility Timer. Interesting. And it's got some methods, and I just want to go through and look at these methods, because one of these methods is one that's really important to me. Let's do a search for visibility in here. It's a filter visibility one. Source visibility, that's the one I want.
And that's for turning on and off cameras, right?
Kind of,
Or-
yeah. So it's for
and
videos.
filter videos.
So I have a scene loaded with videos.
Yes.
It's got all the different videos, but I don't want to play them all at once. I want to play them when the key is
One
pressed.
at a time. Yeah.
So I'm going to come in, call this, specify the source name, specify the scene name, and whether I want it visible or not. Ooh, and there's this nice delay seconds. That's perfect. That means I can turn it on and immediately call to turn it off, but pass in a delay seconds.
Yeah.
So I don't even have to
that's-
need a timer. Well, this could be super easy. We might be going back and doing super number today.
Okay.
What we might be doing. Okay, so now I just need to, let's just tap the next reference and see who's calling this. Yeah, I'm feeling it's sluggish today. And I don't understand why. I'm not sure why. I did a restart of my machine. We had problems with your video was sluggish. It looked a little bit, is it sluggish? Move your
No,
hand
not
quickly.
anymore. Oh,
Yeah,
wait.
it's a little bit. Of
Yeah.
sluggish. Set source visibility is called from the DM Mood Manager. Cool, that's for the Dungeon Masters. Mood. Hide all sources by scene name. That's from the Contest Manager. And then we're back here. Okay, it doesn't look like we're really using it in a lot of places. All right, the next thing I want to do, well, let's do this too. I want to come in and I want to right click here and do a build. Make sure my build is good because of that error I got on opening it up. This, by the way, gives you a sense of like what a project can get to in terms of size.
Yeah.
So this is a solution with, I don't know, it looks like about 14 projects in it. And each project, some of the projects have hundreds of files, right? So one of the things you'll see that I've done in the upper left there in the Solution Explorer
Yeah.
is I've created folders to
For
group
everything.
code that's
For-
related.
Yes.
And build succeeded. All right, that's good news. One of those folders is for Stream Deck commands. These are all the commands, custom commands I've added into Stream Deck. Well, I want to create a new command, and I'm going to just take this class and duplicate this. Yeah, I'm feeling not good about the responsiveness here, and I'm not sure what it is. I went in and looked at. It just feels like Visual Studio is slower. Performance looks good though. This is the mystery to me, right? If you look across the board here, nothing here is over like 50%.
No.
So
GPU is close, but
yeah, from memory standpoint, Visual Studio is not really that big the deal. Visual Studio is down here right now. Yeah, I don't get it. So anyway, we'll keep an eye on it. So I'm going to duplicate this class, and we're going to call this maybe show Code Rush demo vid? Something like that, maybe.
Maybe just show Code Rush demo? Maybe not.
Yeah, maybe just Code Rush demo. Code Rush demo. Maybe like that. And we'll call this the call it source name. Oh, what do we got here? Yeah, nothing's feeling right now about this, and I don't know why. Okay, let me just mark an issue here for the dev team. All right, devs, I was just rolled back just about 30 seconds, and you can see I was typing in something new here, and I got an exception across the top. It's over here in the exception log. In the activity log. I mean, I'll send that to you a little later. Try to attach it to this. Just wanted to let you know. Let's do this and that. Activity log error. Yeah, I've been noticing Code Rush, or not Code Rush, but Visual Studio is seemingly slow all the way in here, and it's impacting everything. And I don't know why. I brought up the task manager here. Everything looks kind of normal. I don't understand why it would be slow. Activity log exception. Looks like it was with the test runner discoverability is what it looks like it is. And I'm using, by the way, a new, an intermediate build as well, which I know has got a bunch of stuff you folks are working on. The build I'm using, I think you're going to see that in the log file, but there it is right there. There's my build number. Okay, so we're dog fooding Code Rush. We're using the product we create. That's what dog fooding means, Kimmel. Did you know that?
I remember.
So dog fooding means you use the product you create as a developer.
And then if you see any problems, you basically...
Yeah, well, if you use your own product, you're more likely to find issues with it, right? Okay, so I want to call this the source name.
And it comes from companies who would make dog food. They would feed it to dogs, right?
Well, no, I think it comes from dog food companies that would actually try the dog food, or the executives, the people would try the dog food they send. I think that's where it came from. They ship out. Are you wearing a green shirt, my friend?
I am. I'm sorry. I didn't realize until now.
You're the floating head. Okay, so so now what we want to do is we want to let's get this. So it's going to say maybe Code Rush demo. That was Campbell's suggestion. Followed by, this is a regular expression. So take a look at this, Campbell. I bet you can read this. What does this mean? Can you tell me anything about this?
That means that it's Code Rush demo, and then one or more period, or one or more characters.
Right, and a period can be what?
Any character.
Any character.
Whatsoever.
That's right. And followed by what? What's that mean?
That's just the end, right?
End of the line. Must match the end of the line. This is what?
That's the beginning of the line.
So Code Rush demo followed by the name of something. Any number of characters.
Yes.
The parens, do you know what the parens mean?
No, I don't.
It means they're going to put it in a group.
Oh, right. And then...
And I go after group 1 because group 0 is going to give me the whole match.
I didn't notice it because I didn't recognize it because it doesn't have the name for it.
Right. Normally we do a name, and we're not doing a name here. So, cool. All right, so we've got Code Rush demo here. I need to move it to its own class because that's how I am. Move type to file like this. And I'm thinking, instead of going into the Dungeon Master app, I'm thinking instead I'm going to create my own OBS manager here. I bet I can do that. OBS manager, look at that. I've got access to it. I'm in the same namespace, Campbell. It's not, up above me and something that references me. It's right here. So I'm going to create a new instance of that, new OBS manager. Pretty sure that's all I need to do. Yeah, really slow. It is slow. It is slow. Okay, I'm good. Wait, what did you say, Campbell?
That is so weird because it might be OBS that is doing it because my video was slow at first and it still kind of is, but
No, it's not. It's not because I'm looking at my screen, not OBS's screen. I'm looking at that. So let's see what's going on here. Skype says, who's talking to me over now on Skype? Let me just let my colleague know I'm live streaming now. We'll look later. Look in about 2 hours. Okay. All right. Cool. So now we've got the OBS manager in here. Now when we come in here to execute, so oh yeah, we've set source video. See what we've done here? See that? That's this guy right there. Now when we get to this point, we should be able to come in here and say OBS manager.set source visibility, since we've created a new instance of that up above here. And it's got what, 2 sets of args here? So the source name is going to be our source video there. The scene name is called, this is the name of the scene inside OBS, is called CR templates. Like that. The visibility is going to be true. And this, see this right here? See that syntax where it says delay seconds is equal to 0?
Yeah.
That means it's a default parameter. Meaning if I don't specify it here, the compiler will give it a value of 0 by default.
Yeah.
Make sense? So that's what's going on there. And then I just need a semicolon for the end of the line. Good. Now let's set it to false. But give it 8 seconds. This is delay seconds. So I'll give it 8. Yeah, about 8 seconds, 8 or 9 seconds. And that's it. So now the last thing I need to do is I need to, yeah, I do want to, well, okay, no. The last thing I want to do is I need to register this. I have to register this class because that's just the way I set it up for my Stream Deck commands. And to register it, I add that to my list of commands. This is similar to something we did in KidzCode.
Oh yeah, I remember this a little bit, or something similar to it, not as long as.
Yeah, DevExpress is trying to bring me into a conference right now, which I'm going to skip. I'm just going to let them know. Hold on a second. All right. Okay, so that now gets that, registers that. Now with that registered, all I need to do is set a breakpoint in here, like that, and then we can run it. Let's see if how the run goes. And it is building. Try to get that progress bar up there right behind us there. So progress build succeeded. All right, cool. Yeah, I think what I want to do is I want to create a special zoom in on that part of the screen for when I build, so I can hit a button and you see just the progress bar, but nice and big up across the top. I think I've said I really want that. I'm waiting for that to start up. All right, lights are turning on one side, the light on the other side should turn on in a second as well. That's all part of the startup. These are the lights I have for the fireball effects, by the way. Cam, I think you saw those.
Yeah, I've seen them.
There's something else I need to do. Oh, I need to create some buttons. I need to create some buttons on the Stream Deck to control the app. That's what I need to do. Let's see where it makes sense to do that. Demos. Over here, create folder. We're going to call this Rush Plate. Rush Plate, which is the name of the new product. Like that. And we're going to come over here. So he says, seeing as Campbell isn't wearing his hat anymore, I'll put one on. He's going to put a hat on you. How are you gents today? I don't know. How are you doing, Campbell? He's putting a hat on you, man. Look out. Is that a hat made out of drones? Or is it the Code Rush? It's probably the Code Rush thing coming down on you. I'm doing pretty good. I am, as noted at the beginning of the show, I am pressed for time. So we are, hold on, Karen's walked in and staring at me. What's up?
I'm just staring at you because you're so attractive.
What's up? All right, we've started up, the app is running. So now we just got to send a command in over here to this thing. The commands, I'm not sure if I have any ones over here. I think I want to copy it from over on the other side. Copy one of the commands, bring it over so I've got the right, I'm using the right account because I'm just not remembering it. Let's see, what's a good one to grab? Maybe that one. Yeah, even this is slow. Okay. So we'll just copy that, switch back over to Excel right, drill our way back into demos again. Folders, demos, rush plate, paste. And now I want to call this F for function is what we're going to do. I'll call that F for function. I'll bring that over here. The command is going to be, what was it, Campbell?
It was, I don't remember.
Code Rush vid,
Oh,
Code Rush demo.
it was just the Code Rush demo.
Okay, Code Rush demo. Then I need a source. Now over here in this one, I've got my different sources. F for function is that one right there. Sweet. Let me try that and we'll hit the button and see if we get a breakpoint. Does not look like we got a breakpoint. Well, maybe we did because it's loading symbols. We did. It's just really slow. Isn't that crazy? Okay, so there's a breakpoint. We're going to go in here. If match success, okay, then source video is equal to see our template.f.function. Sweet. Return true. That means we're going to get up in here. Now that we're in here, we're going to do it. Let's see. We may not see anything now because I need to add these to the scene we're in, and I don't think they're here yet. So they're not here yet. Ooh, what's this? Object reference not set to, what is it? Let's do this. How to watch EA. Delay seconds, this. That's all looking good. Is the WebSocket not right? Let's view the details. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. No error exception. It says object reference is not set to an instance of an object. Stopping here. Oh no, wait. No, yeah? That doesn't make sense. Let's go figure out. Have we not called connect on it? Is that my problem? Let's see if we're explicitly calling connect. We'll find connect in here. There it is right there. Who calls this? Connect to OBS is there. Yeah, it looks like we're explicitly calling it. It looks like I think that's my real problem. I don't think it's that I have a null reference. I think it's that I've failed to connect. So let's go back to where we were. We're just catching the exception, not doing anything with it. Let's get out of here. Not here. And I want to do this. I think I want to do this. I want to connect right here. I want to basically be like, hey, if it's not connected, so there is connected. All right, let's stop the whole app because I'm. It's not going to work this way. All right, so we're going to take that. I want to create a new constructor here. Oops. And inside this constructor, we're going to call connect on it. So when this instance is created, we're going to have that connection created. See if that works any better. Why would things be slow today? Like for the first time. Like even killing the app, waiting for this to clear itself, it's taking like way longer than it normally does. I've killed the app. See, there it is. Now it just finally reset. Yeah, I did add a project, so I'm kind of pushing, you know, I'm starting to put a lot of stuff in here. And we had the error when loading this project. When I loaded up this form, we had an error. The form loads now though. Interesting. Okay. Let's unload this project. Let me try this. I'm going to unload this project. I'm going to quit Visual Studio, come back in with the project unloaded, and see if that has any impact at all on performance. See, I'm even waiting for this to turn to an arrow key. To an arrow for the mouse. There it is. It's just now become responsive. Nope, it's not. It says not responding. That was after unloading. Holy cow! I'm gonna mark another issue here. Closing. I just want the devs to look at this point. I'm not sure they're going to be able to get. Yeah, they should be able to give a log file on that. Issue start. Okay, devs, just perf issue here. I want you to take a look at this. I tried to close this down. Now I guess I didn't hit it. But roll back a little bit and take a look at the performance issues. Look at the logs. See what's going on in here. I'm trying to close this down. I'll close it down now. But I'm just noticing Visual Studio is significantly slower than it normally is today. Not only Visual Studio, but I think other things on my computer as well. But for sure Visual Studio. Perf issue, VS really slow. Okay, let's do that. Put that back out there in the chat room.
Mine seems fine.
Yeah, I know. I suspect it's totally a machine thing. It's totally something on my machine is what it is. Also, I am using a kind of a new version of CodeRush, an intermediate build from the devs. So, you know, could be seeing some things from that as well. This seems taking longer to take longer. All right, let's see if this fixes that problem that we got, the null ref. By the way, Campbell, sometimes this happens in software that you create. You put up an error message that's different from the real problem. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, like maybe the problem is the password's invalid and you say, sorry, I couldn't reach the server. Maybe it's a mistake, right? Why do people make mistakes, right? So one of the things as a developer that you want to do, yeah, even hovering over the start menu, the start button here, look at that. Wow. Yeah, it doesn't look like we fixed our performance problem. It is building down below. Yeah, you know what it really feels like, Campbell? There it is right there. There's the progress bar right behind you. It feels like the machine has decided to go slower, like in response to it feeling like it's overheating or something like that. That's what it feels like. All right. So, what are we doing? We're starting up. While that starts up, I'm gonna just make a couple changes. I'm gonna go look at the templates here a second. We still have audio over here, I think. Yeah, looks like that's the case. So we'll kind of hang out here on this page for a second, though I do have that front overlay thing that's kind of in the way, and I can't quite get rid of it on this page while we're waiting for the other piece to start up. I could probably do this. I think I can come here and temporarily turn that off. Just have to remember to turn that back on again. Come back over here. Good. That looks better. Yeah, it's taking. Normally it doesn't take this long to start the app. So it feels like it's my machine, which is a little worrisome. Like that my machine somehow thinks things are in a bad state and needs to slow down. All right, there's the app up and running. Got a breakpoint over here. I'm gonna go hit that button again. F. And as I recall, we had to wait to get in here. There it is. Okay, so let's step through one, execute one. Nice. Execute number 2. That means 9 seconds. That should go away and be turned off. So it's finished, but I'm watching an OBS for there. It just did it. So the OBS eye socket or eyeball, whatever, not eye socket, eyeball icon just turned off, indicating that it is working. It's turning it on and turning it off. That's sweet.
Wait, try doing it again, just so that we know it will still work.
That's a great thing. Great point. So let's do it. I'm gonna hit it again, and let's kind of count the seconds. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh yeah. So it turns off just as it gets off screen. That 9 seconds is like perfect. So okay, great. That's really great news.
So now we just got to do it for the other keystroke.
Just got to create a few more buttons. That's actually easy work to do. I think we're about to switch over. Let me just create a couple of these so we have proof of concept up here working. Paste down here. This is going to be R. And this is going to be R for read-only properties. Let me just grab this so I don't have to type it in. It's coming from here. Boom, read-only property, so I've got R for that. Copy, put that down here, paste it. I'm going to take the R, turn it to a P, because we need P for properties as well. It's P for property right there. So P for property, R for read-only property, T for types. Let's try hitting some of these. T for text. Sweet. Nice. P for properties. Nice. All right, cool. Let's create some buttons on the other side as well. Piece over here. This is going to be B is for Boolean. So what's going on here, Campbell, is you're actually seeing something similar to what the templates you've already kind of learned in CodeRush for C#.
Yeah.
Is what you've seen. So right now, if I type in B for Boolean, B is for bool. Sweet. Copy that. Go ahead.
Why does it come out of one side for one and the other for another? Is that for if it's a class or a method or that or anything, or is it just?
There's some organizational intent behind it, and I'll show you once I get a couple more of these in here. Let's do the array in here. Keep the array right up there. Whoops, let's do this instead. There's A for array. So for example, if I want to talk about, let's talk about a function or a function that returns an array of strings. You type in FAS.
A bit loud, but yeah, I get your point.
I'll just turn down the volume on all of them. That's great feedback. Thanks for that. So that's what's going on there, right? So I'll just be able to type those pieces in here. There's also, we have AF for an array function. Yeah, so there's all kinds of combinations that are in here and available. And I want to be able to illustrate those. You definitely don't want that sound to be too loud. So we'll be taking a look. I'll be taking a look at the sound, and so I can say I want an arrow function that returns a Boolean, and it's AFB is my template that I use.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's it. Okay, cool. I'm going to call that one done. With that, let's go back into normal KidzCode mode here. And we'll maybe switch over to your machine if you want.
Okay.
We'll go do that.
Okay.
And thanks, Campbell, for giving me that time to work on that. I appreciate that.
No problem.
Okay, let's do one other thing. I want to do that one I temporarily turned off. I want to turn it back on. And let me turn off the clock. Let's turn off the name tags as well. And give it one more refresh. And one more of those. And all right, now we should be in good shape. You want to do a little thing we call...
What happened last time? Sure.
Campbell says sure. He'll do
Sure.
that.
So last time we were working on super number, and we we added. Did we just? I'm forgetting. Did we add super number, or did we just make changes to super number? Or
I think it was a two. We'd done it in 2 days, so we had made some changes to it. We added an operator overload for multiplication,
yes.
And we added an operator overload
or comparing, just and then not comparing.
For plus and for multiplication. Sorry, I was distracted by an issue on my machine. I'm back with you now. So we have multiplication and we have addition for super numbers. And what's a super number? Can we review that for folks who aren't sure?
Yes. A super number is it's basically just our way of creating a number, a mixed number, or a fraction, or just a decimal.
Right. So we have the super number stores a whole number, a numerator, and a denominator, but it also stores a decimal value if needed, if we need to. And so if we're doing things like multiplying two fractions, we'll get an answer that's still a fraction. And it has the ability to simplify itself, right? It can simplify
Yes.
itself. It's got the ability to make itself improper. In other words, you know, and remove the whole number, so we have just a big number on the top of the fraction and a smaller number maybe on the bottom of the fraction, that sort of thing, so that we can then do things like multiply or add, find common, you know, common denominators. So we're missing subtraction and we're missing divide.
Yes. We're
Operator
missing
overload.
subtraction and division, and also powers we have not done.
We've not talked about powers at all. Tell me, you have any thoughts on that? You want to talk about that at all? Well, you said, talked to me the other night, you said, hey, maybe we should add powers to it.
Yeah, because most calculators do have powers, and what we're trying to kind of do is make a calculator that can both that can basically work for fractions.
One of the things I like a lot is the ability to hold the power without actually doing anything with it. Just like we're holding on to the denominator
Yeah.
and the numerator without doing anything with those. We use them if we, you know, need to do an operation. But what's cool about that is I can start to show you what happens with powers when we multiply, you know, 1/2 to the 4th times 1/2 to the 4th, or to the 2nd.
Yeah.
Right? What happens? We get 1/4 raised to the 6th. And being able to show you that visually might be useful. And so holding on to powers, I think from that standpoint, might be pretty cool. All right, so I say the first thing we do is we go into supernumber. We go in and we say, let's do a let's create an overload for operator divide. Operator plus looks like this. It gets a new numerator. Yeah, I almost think, let's take this and let's hit Shift Enter on that. And let's create an operator overload for minus. And what I'd like you to do is kind of go through each line of code in this and talk about it, Campbell. Now we want to change this to a minus here. We're going to change that to a minus right there. Okay? And let's look at each line of code and we'll figure out what we need to change in each line of code. So line 147.
Okay, so 147, we are checking to see if either if it's a decimal, if either super number 1 is a decimal or super number 2 is a decimal. And then if either of those are true, then we just return the value. We just add those decimals.
And we added them because the code we got is from the add operator overload.
Yes.
Any changes to this line that you want to make?
Yes, we need to change this to a subtraction symbol.
Okay. All right. Lines 150 through 152.
We are just declaring ints for the whole number, the numerator and the denominator.
Yeah, just declaring some local variables that we're going to use in a moment.
Yes, in a
Okay.
moment.
It lets the compiler know.
And then
That's what we're doing. Okay, go ahead.
154 to 156, we are setting those values equal to, well, first for the whole number, it's the super number 1 whole number plus the super number 2 whole number. So we're just adding those two together like you would any for a fraction. But for this one, we need to subtract them. So,
Yeah. You know what?
or is it?
You know what could be really cool? Check this out. What if we did this? What if we made the whole method like that? In other words, our minus operator
What just did-
overload just negates the second number and then uses our operator overload for plus to add them together.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, if it works, if make negative works, this could totally work. So can you declare that for me, make negative?
Yes, I can.
It's a lot simpler, right? And also maybe more useful. Having a method called make negative.
Basically,
cool.
what we just want to do is take the super number and then multiply it times -1.
Kind of, but we want to create a new super number and return it.
Oh, right.
I don't want to change the old one. So I want to create a new super number here. That's going to be our result. Type in RI. Stands for result instance, space. And then you can just say, what'd you say?
Oh, we have super number copy. Okay.
All right, so that's our result right there. We're going to instantiate that. At some point in time, we're going to come in here and we're going to say that's equal to a new super number, and we're going to pass in whatever those pieces are.
Yes.
So what we want to do first, we want to say, hey, if type, actually I'll let you write this code. We want to write code that checks to see if we're a decimal. If the type of our super number is a decimal, it's going to be easy. Then we're going to just return a new super number passing in the negative of our current value. Yeah, there you go. Look at that line of code. Get it, copy. Type is equal to decimal. Then, let me just give you one shortcut right down here. Instead of saying result, actually, it's probably better. We just need to do a return on it. So we're just going to say return, whoops, new super number. You got to figure out what to put in here. There's 3 different overloads. There's 3 versions. One with no parameters, one with a decimal parameter,
and one with
whole number, numerator, and
yeah.
denominator. What do you put there?
Here we want to do a decimal now.
Okay.
So,
Do you remember what the property is for our decimal value?
yeah, it's value, right?
I think that's right. Value right down there. No,
and
use
then-
the uppercase one with the uppercase one, which is the that's the property name. Good. Halfway done. Now, if
Then-
once you return, you're out. But if you get to down here, if the execution comes down here, we know our type is not a decimal; it's a fraction.
So here we want to.
I need to. Well, okay, yeah, okay. No, you totally do this. This is totally fine. Do this. Just hit enter. What are we passing in here? Oh, wait. Line 231. There's a problem with line 231.
Yeah.
If our value is 5, that's going to return a new super number whose value is also 5.
Oh, right.
Yeah, okay, cool. You can also put a negative at the front of it. That might be shorter. You might like that
Oh,
better.
yeah, that's true.
That's perfect. Okay, now what are we going to do?
Negative whole number. Right?
Yep.
And then. Oh.
You need a comma if you want to get a second parameter in there. What are you thinking? Trying to think
We
about
don't
whether
want
this goes
the-
negative or not?
Yeah, we don't want the numerator and denominator negative, right?
I think we do. I think we do. But I'm not 100% sure. But I think we do. I'm pretty sure that we wrote code that made sure those were always going to be the same sign. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And so if they're always the same sign, then we want to negate them both.
Wait, but we don't want to do it for the denominator. do we?
Definitely
Because
not.
We didn't.
The denominator should always be positive.
Yeah.
And I think, now delete the line 233. You don't need that anymore because you're out. You're done. I think that should make negative. I think that'll work. Now we need to create, let's save this and let's go into our fraction test, create a new test for subtraction. Why don't you create a test for me in fraction test?
Where? Where do you want it?
Well, anywhere, just not, it's got to be in a place between methods. Anywhere in here. Give it a good name.
Test for what? What are we testing?
Well,
There's subtraction?
we just added a subtraction operator overload, and we added make negative. So you can choose, one of those. Test make negative. Perfect. All right. Might want to copy some code from above where you're creating a super number. This is like a. So we're starting with 4, 6. You can start with that. That's fine. And then you want to call make negative on it and check to see if it's equal to your new super number you pass in. I would do the make negative call before your equals call. Yeah, right there.
Wait.
There you go. Super number is what you want. You want the lowercase one. You've got the class reference, but you've also got this thing right up there in front of you. So you've got the local variable and the class are both in scope. Okay. Hit control space.
Nope.
It's not there. Why is it not there? We just wrote it. Do you have any ideas on it? You're right. You don't have to delete all that. You were right. It just wasn't there. Good. So you're looking at it. Good job. Both. Look at this. Go back to where you were. Okay, go ahead. You guide this exploration if you want. And if you want a hint, let me know. Make negative works from inside. Look, tab to next reference. Look what file you're in. You're inside super number. Mm-hmm. Make negative. You can see this from inside super number. Hit tab to next reference again. Okay. Go back up to where you were. See this word right here?
Yeah.
That's public. That means this operator overload can be seen outside of this class. Tab to next reference. Go back down. Do you see the word public over there?
No.
And also there's one missing from make improper as well. You can alt up or down arrow. Should be able to cycle visibility. There you go.
Right now.
There you go. See what's going on? Make improper. That might be useful to be public too. Okay. Now go back to your test case. Might be able to redo. Okay, that's hard too. Super number dot. See them now? Make negative. And then for line 120 to pass. Oh, did I tell you this? If you're inside parens, you can hit the semicolon and you're done.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and do that. And then on line 120, what do you have to change on line 120 to make that work? Yeah, that's it. Nope, nope, denominator,
sorry.
no. And then delete line 121, and then see if that works. Run it. Make test, make negative. Failed. Let's go look at it.
I expected. Oh, it's doing the thing again where it's. It expects something and then it gets that, but it thinks that it isn't that.
Sure. Well, we can do this too. We can go in and do this. We can debug it. We can also do. Well, oops, hold on a second. I'm not sure. I think we might be simplifying. Can we try one more thing?
Oh, I think I might know the problem.
I think the add simplifies. So, in other words, if we turn it to 2/3, I think that will pass and this will fail. Let's just try running those. It's a hunch. And if not, we'll debug it. We'll step through.
I think it's the 0. It's expecting the 0 to be negative, to be a negative number, I think.
Oh yeah, we could have. Let's debug it. We'll set a breakpoint here and we'll debug it.
I think. I don't know.
Well, we're going in. We're going to see what's going on here. What's this? This super number is wrong after our call to make negative didn't get it right. See what's going on? Oh, wait, I know what the problem is. It's my bad. Make negative returns a new super number. It doesn't change it. In fact, we should rename this. Let me stop the debugging for a second and
Make a new negative, maybe?
well, I'm not sure. I stopped the debug, but we're gonna go. We want to now do this, and it's actually now I'm back to thinking that's gonna pass. That's what I think. Let's try that. Run the test. Pass. Okay, good. So that did pass. It did work. So that's make negative. Now we want to create a new test case for me. Are you understanding that? Did I just jump through that real fast? Do you want to? Is there anything you?
No, it makes sense. Because our make negative call, it doesn't change the super number.
No, it creates a new one. Yeah, that's what's going on.
That to the negative version of the current super number.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure we do that for everything inside super number. I think we should review the code real quickly. So that returns it. See, it's returning new. What's this one? Make improper. Also returns a new one.
Yes.
Okay. What else do we have here? Make fraction proper.
This one doesn't return a new one.
This does not return a new one. That's a problem. We want consistency. Let's go look at where we're calling this from. We're calling it from that test. So number of test cases. Our fraction's equivalent. All right, here's what I want to do to fix this. I want to change our naming convention. So we use the word create in proper. And we use the words create negative here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if we're going to have two different ways of doing it, we should be super consistent about how we're doing that. Any other returns in here we should go look at? Return answer is this, return the answer. That's the operator overload. Okay, we don't need to worry about those. Plus, all fractions equivalent, clone. I think this should be public. I think it's useful to clone a number. Is that true or not? I don't know anymore. That's our double equals and not equals comparisons. That's our implicit conversions to the decimal. This is our constructor. This is where we check to make sure the signs are the same, the multiplier. And we make sure that the numerator and the whole number both have the same signs. That's at least what we're trying to do. And I think that's it. We're all the way up to the top. Okay, that's it. So I think that's better. I like the create negatives better. All right, now I want you to create a test method for me. Okay, actually before we jump into that, I want to go back and ask you the same question I asked you a second ago. Are you good with that? You get a sense of what's happening here with the...
Yes, I do.
Okay, cool. All right, so create negative is there. Now I want you to give me a test case to test our subtraction of fractions. You might want to go find the one that adds them and put it right after that test case.
Wait, sorry, what?
Go find the test method that tests adding of fractions together. It's one of these in here. And also you might want to close your output so you have more space to view.
With this?
Nope, that's just test
we're just
make negative. I want to see where we're adding. Test fraction add improper. I think it was just on screen. Close down your output window so you see more. Okay, cool. So we could do this as a subtraction. We could duplicate this whole thing. You can do selection increase. Do you know the key to hit?
Yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, and then shift enter to duplicate
Shift
it.
enter.
And then we're going to give it a good name. New name. Remember Alt and arrow keys? Duplicate selection changed those numbers for you. So go ahead and change them back. See the 1, 7, and 4? It changed those. Change those back to 0, 4, 3. It changes those as far as watching the pattern of the numbers. And so if it guesses wrong, in the future, if you see that, you can just hit undo and it'll undo the guess, and then you'll still get the duplicate. All right, now what are you going to change?
Now we need to change.
So you've got 4/3 minus 1/3. What's our expected answer going to be?
Our expected answer will be 3/3 or 1.
Right. You don't need to create a super number for that if you want. You could just take all of that on the left, do selection increase on the to the left of the caret on that argument that says new super number 1, 2, 3, and replace it with the number 1. Use selection increase. It's much faster. No, but you have to do it when you're inside. You already had it selected. So right here, do it here. Selection increase. 1, 2, 3. One more time.
All of these? Oh, one small?
One more. Yeah, don't create a super number. You just put the number 1 there. I think that's going to pass. If our code is right, if everything we've done is correct, 4/3 minus 1/3 should be equal to 1. And because we're passing in a 1 there, it's going to do an implicit conversion, meaning you don't have to tell it explicitly to convert. It just does it on its own implicitly. And it's going to implicitly convert to the 1. So try running that and see what happens. I'm dying to know the answer. Is this going to work?
Nope.
It's not 1. Let's set a breakpoint there and then debug it. So set a breakpoint on line 104.
It expected 32.
It expected 1 because that's what we're passing
Oh wait,
in.
it expected 1 but was...
Maybe we need to do this. I thought, you know what? Maybe we need to do this. Hold on a second. Maybe it doesn't know that it needs to implicitly convert. Let's try this. Let's explicitly convert for a second. To cast to a double, I type in CD like that, and it'll write that code for me. It's an old error. All right, let's try running that. See what happens. Cannot convert super number to a double? I'm pretty sure we had implicit conversion to a double. Oh, it's to decimal. We had it only to decimal.
We did.
All right, let's fix that. Here we go. Try that.
I feel like there's such thing as a double decimal. Am I making that up?
I worked. Is there a double decimal? No, I don't think there is.
I am.
I don't think there is that I know of. Okay, cool. So we got an improper subtraction, I suppose. We might want to try this too. Let's do some more tests. What about a test that subtracts? What is it that does 1/3 minus 1? Should be negative 2/3, right?
It should. But I'm not sure if we can. Yeah, maybe.
I'm going to write that. Is that okay if I write that?
Yeah.
I'm super curious. So we're going to say 1/3 minus 1. Like that. Okay? So 1/3 minus 1, and that should be equal to...
It will totally get it because remember our code saying like if one of them is a decimal, then so just do the regular subtraction.
Flavораtions is here. Look out for that. Moon's looking good. How you doing, Flavораtions? Welcome. Welcome. We're working on our super number class. Let's switch back over to Campbell's machine here so you can see it. There it is right there. There's our super number class. And we are working on a test case for it. Right now we're working on a 1/3 minus 1. And yeah, super number. It's a number that can hold fractions as well as decimals. And useful for like learning fractional math. And we're creating operator, and also C#. We're creating operator overloads for it. Like we just finished the minus overload and we're testing that one right there. So we can say 1/3 minus 1. So when we create a new super number, we pass in the whole number, the numerator, and the denominator. That's what's going on there. And so we've got 1/3 divided by, or minus 1. And so we're looking for a negative 2/3. That's what we're looking for in the answer. I don't want to typecast this as a decimal. I just want to do that. So super number 3 is equal to 1 minus 1/3. Is that equal? So let's run that test and see what we get. Fail. Set a breakpoint. See what we get. Kind of interesting because we've never looked at both numerator and denominator with 0 in it, right there. And what do we get here? We get the wrong answer. If we hover over that, it's -1 with 0 over 0. That's definitely a wrong answer. I think it's because of this guy right here. That's what I think it is. Because divide by 0, we're not sure what that exactly means for the denominator. What'd you say?
I think I might know.
I wonder if we change this to a 1. If this would change the results of this. What are you saying? You think you got it? -1 and 0 once, and we get -1 and 1/3. That's totally wrong. What do you want to say? Do you have an idea? You want to talk about something?
What was I saying? Oh yes, because we are expecting once we subtract, we're expecting the for this, we're expecting, I think again, we're expecting this 0 to be negative, even though that wouldn't really work.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if we do a positive or negative on the 0. It's not. I don't think that's what we're expecting.
No, it's because our code is expecting the numerator and the whole number to be the same sign.
Okay, that might be it. We can go take a look at it. That might explain what's going on here with this piece being off right here. So what we want to do is we want to set a breakpoint. We want to kind of set a breakpoint here and step into it. That's what I think we want to do. So right now I've got 1/3 and I have essentially 1 and 0 ones is what I've done for that. Let's go look at that first of all. Let's bring it up here. I hit, shoot, I want to go back up one more time. Inside here, I need to set a breakpoint on our subtraction override. Yeah. Hit F10. All right, so now we're going to take a look at this and see what happens when we do a negative. That's correct. It's instead of a positive 1, it's now a -1. Okay. Now we're here. We're going to do a plus. That's going to get us up here. Let's go look at what happens with our code here. What's wrong with our code? Not a decimal. So the new whole number. Well, interesting. I think this is wrong. When we were adding only positive numbers, we felt it was safe to add the whole number. Yeah, what we need to do on both of these, I think, is we need to make them improper and then do it. So I want to create 2 new super numbers in here. Improp for num1 is equal to super number 1 dot create improper. That's going to get rid of the whole numbers. Do the same thing for 2. Like that. Then the new whole number is going to be 0. Like that. Okay? Then we're going to come in and say, everywhere we saw super number 1, we're going to replace it with improper number 1. Okay? And everywhere we see super number 2, we're going to replace it with improper number 2. Like that. Okay. And let's see if we get any better results here. So let's set the execution pointer here and step through it. So now create improper is 1/3, and this one, interesting, is now -1 over 1, which is still -1. You look like you're Stun. Remember, we're doing 1/3 minus
Yeah,
1.
but I don't see why it would get that answer.
Create improper.
No.
Make sure that your whole number is 0. So it changes your numerator so that your whole number can be 0. See, it went from this, look, -1 was my whole number, and I had 0 as my denominator, and changed it to 0 as my whole number with -1 as my numerator. Sorry, I said denominator, I meant numerator.
But it's still -1, but in a way that we can handle it.
Right, and I love that that's working, and that's like our own test case almost right there. That's awesome. I almost feel like we want a test case that goes from here to here and verifies that's the case when we call create improper. So now our new whole number is 0. Okay. Our new numerator is -2. Is that right? 1/3 minus 1. Oh yeah, that's right. It is right. -2/3 is what we're looking for. New denominator is 3. There it is, -2/3. Holy cow, did we just fix that? Yeah, we can't directly add the whole numbers. That was, I think my hunch was right on that. And so now we have a -2/3. And now do we have a passing test? We have a passing test. Sweet. Now, what do we do when we've made change like this, Campbell? We made a change to the low-level core.
We run all of the tests.
That's right. To do that, good job. To do that, we come up here to the top where the class is, and we click this button, and then we say, go, run all the tests. That's an easy way to do it. You can also bring up the test runner as well, and run from there. Sweet! Everything works, so we haven't broken anything.
Yes.
And that's why we have those other test cases, right? All those test cases are incredibly valuable. Every time we add a new one, all those other test cases are so valuable, right? Because we can go back and run them and verify that all the other math works, right?
Yeah.
All right, divide is your next challenge. Divide. Create an operator overload for divide. And if you want a hint, ask for hints. I've got hints. You okay if I do a color commentary play-by-play?
Sure.
Campbell scrolling up and down fraction tests. Looks like he's looking for a test case to do this great entry point for his new test for the divide. Brilliant strategy, creating his divide test case before actually creating the divide operator overload.
No, I'm looking.
No, you don't. You don't like that? But I always wanted to be one of those commentators on the sports shows, Campbell.
No, I need to create the overload before I create the.
You can do either.
Case, right?
You do the test case first, it won't compile, and it's still useful. Okay, don't move too far away from where you are. Look at that. Look at how we did the operator minus. See how easy that one is?
Mm-hmm.
What if we could figure out a similar way to make our divide?
We just need to make it into a fraction, which we already have the code for. Right? We would just have to multiply by a fraction, which we already have the code to turn a.
Actually, do you want to try something? Do you want to take a mini commercial break from this and create something maybe a little simpler before we tackle this?
Sure.
Okay, I'm just looking at the code now. I'm making note that we're about line 150. It's about 150, line 150. That's about where I want this. I want the divide operator to be here because it's right next to the minus operator, and I like that symmetry. But before that we do this, let me do this. Let me take over. I'm going to create a new test case. I want you to write code to make the test case work. Okay? I'm going to create a new test case called test invert, like this. I'm going to create a, maybe just do something like
Oh
this.
yeah, it's multiplying by the reciprocal. Wait, we just need to flip the numerator and the denominator. We just set the numerator equal to the denominator, and then the denominator equal to the numerator. Or we can make a new variable called new numerator and set that equal to the denominator. Or we can just do the denominator.
Let's see. I'm going to do this. I'm going to create a new super number, and we'll declare that equal to, we'll call it 36. Like that. Then I want to see if 1/36 is equal to this dot create reciprocal.
Yeah.
All right, there's my new test case. Think it's going to pass?
Wait, let's see.
I'm running it. I'm just running. You don't have time. I don't have time, Camel. Just click and run. Don't move the mouse. Here we go. That's kind of action and adventure you have here with your dad. Did it pass? No, it didn't pass. Sorry. Okay, maybe I should let you have the mouse.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe my bad on that.
We have to actually have a method called create reciprocal.
But it has such a good name. I don't understand why it didn't work. All right, so Campbell's going to declare it. All right, what's this going to work? How's this going to be? What's this going to do? What's it going to look like?
I think I'm going to create a new numerator, or a variable called new numerator. Is equal to, oops, I forgot something. Okay. So, new numerator is equal to denominator. And then we have a new denominator.
You can set a few keystrokes using VI, variable int, if you want. On the next time you need to create a new int or something like that.
Is equal to numerator.
Sweet.
And then we need to set the current fraction. Do we have a variable for the whole fraction? I feel like we do, but
Tell me what you mean by the whole fraction. You mean the whole number?
no, not the whole number, but just the denominator over the numerator.
Right. Well, we have to call something on it. We have to call create improper. Create improper creates one where the whole number will be 0. And then we can start doing these kinds of things.
That's what we want.
Because we can't invert with a whole number on the side that I know of.
No,
So
you would have to turn it into a
yeah,
fraction without.
Yeah, so we create improper. So we want to call create improper, get the results of that. Can I show you how to do that real quickly?
Sure.
Okay, so right up here, we're just going to start doing create improper. There's the call right there. Then I'm going to hit the code rush key, choose declare declare local, and then we're going to call this improper, or whatever improper fraction, like that. Okay, so now we've got that improper. Now right here, you want to use this, and you want to use this, because now with improper fraction, there'll be the whole number will be 0. And then to get out of here, you want to say return, so R space, and then new super number, and then pass in the parameters to that.
Yes, and those new parameters will be.
Sorry, I'm hitting at the same time. I'm going to stop hitting the keys. I was trying to correct every time I was like,
Will
hit
be
it.
0.
You did.
Right?
Yep, that's right.
And then here, just new denominator. And then here, new numerator.
Well, kind of. You've already switched them on line 241 and 242.
Oh, right.
And so you don't need to switch them a second time here. Good.
The space, new denominator.
Good. Now, what happens if the type of the super number is a decimal?
Oh, well, in that case, we can just divide. We don't even have to make it improper.
Can you write some code to help me with that?
Yep.
Look at the style up on line 234. Look at what we're doing. We check always to see if
I
the
know.
decimals. We check first to see if it's a decimal.
That's why I was going up. If wait, I confused.
Selection increase. There you go. Did you get it? Good job.
I like to use Control W.
Sure.
Because
Yeah, do it.
most of the time my fingers are on the
Right.
keyboard
No, I get it.
letters.
Okay, so type is equal to decimal. What are we returning?
Then we want to return
Just our space can get you the return next
Right.
time.
A new super number, right?
Yeah, get a space there before the word new.
Super number. And this will
What are we
be,
initializing that to?
wait.
What's the value we pass in there?
It would be 1 over. Wait, would we have to make it improper? No, because we can easily divide.
Tell me what you're thinking. I heard 1 over, and I didn't hear the rest of what you were thinking.
I was thinking it might be 1 over the value,
Try it.
but
Type it in so we can look at it and discuss it. There you go. All right. Tell me about what do you think about that? So this is actually a really good technique. If you're not sure, you just type it in so we can discuss, right? Because one of the things we're doing now is essentially pair programming, right? We're both
Yeah.
working together and looking at the same code.
the reason I think it's this is because it's value over 1 is what it normally is, and we want to just get the reciprocal of it.
Right. That sounds like good logic. I heard you say the word negative. Are you worried about negatives?
Am I?
I don't know. I thought I heard you say the word negative.
In what context? I don't,
In this context, would it work or not? With a negative
I
number.
don't think it would.
If it's a -2, and we do the reciprocal of it, it would be 1 over divided by -2, which is -1/2, which is correct.
Which would work.
Yeah, the reciprocal is simply that. The only thing that I want to ask you about now is what happens if value is 0?
Well, then it doesn't matter. No matter what, our answer will be broken.
We could support infinity if we wanted to say that. Do you remember when you were really young and we invented these new numbers called Planck and Crane?
Yeah, I
You
do.
remember that?
Small
And the
possible
number,
and the biggest possible.
one of those was like, I forget which one was which. But
Planck
one-
was the smallest, Crane was the biggest.
Yeah, so Crane was like the biggest number known to man that wasn't infinity.
Mhm.
And the other one was the smallest number that wasn't 0.
Yes.
Is basically, and we basically said that the invert of 1 was equal to the other. 1 divided by Crane was equal to Planck. So we could come up with a similar concept of infinity. For right now, here's what I think I want to do. If we're a decimal, I'm going to do one more check. And I want to, well, we do either one of two things. We can throw an error here, which means, sorry, you can't create a reciprocal of 0, which is a way to do it, right? And we might want to do a check in that. We might want to say, hey, if value is equal to 0, then we might want to say we throw it. Throw a new exception here,
Exception.
something along these lines that we say cannot take the reciprocal
Of 0.
of 0. Idiots. No, maybe we won't put that in our error message. And we do that, and then otherwise, else we're going to return that right there. Okay. Now we're going to maybe have a potential problem here. What if the new denominator is now 0? Let's go look in super number and see if we throw an exception in there. Whoops, wrong key. What happens if denominator is 0? Well, we do. We throw an exception, but well, if it's less than 0, What we need is a new argument exception that says if it's equal to 0, can never be 0.
Yeah.
And what we might also do though is we might do this. We might check to say, we might say, hey, if numerator equals 0, let me ask you what you think about this, and denominator equals 0. In other words, they're both 0. Would it be reasonable to do something like this? Just be chill about it, not throw an error. It's cool. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess. Maybe not.
Well,
but I guess if it's a calculator, yeah.
because then I can do this. Because then I can come out in my line of code when I want to, in my test case or whatever, I can come in here and I can say I want to create a new whole number, which is just the number 1. Like that, and specify 1 like this, and not have to specify 1 as that.
But then it would just be a decimal.
But if I wanted to work as a fraction though.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? Because I want to use it as a fraction. By the way, we still don't have a method that's called make fraction yet.
We can't turn a decimal into a fraction.
Right, turn a decimal into a fraction. We could do that. That's not hard.
Especially since we already have the code to do the opposite.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see, we've made some changes, we've thrown some exceptions, we've got a new piece called create reciprocal. You want to see if your code works?
Sure.
Okay, so let's go into our fraction tests and let's just run, well, I guess we can run this one.
Yeah.
Test. Can you run all of them for me?
Yep.
And you can also do a test with negative numbers if you want to. Upper left button. That one.
Uh-oh, which one passed?
Test multiplication. Click on that. Let's go look at that. So we did something is broken in multiplication. I don't understand how we broke multiplication when we didn't even touch multiplication that I'm aware of. Let's go. Let's just hit a debug on this and see if we can what we get here. We have problems here. Oh, it's 0.
Oh.
R equal. Let's go back. You know why? Because now our 0, see the 0?
It turns into a 1.
Yes, that's why we broke it. Brilliant. I love it. See, this is the value of test cases, right? It's like, oh, okay. Now instead of breaking things and not knowing about it, right? We made one small change and realized it would have impact multiplication of 0. Of course, that makes sense. Now, here's a really cool fix for this. We can go back to super number, and we can go find our equals, double equals comparison, right? Where we're checking for comparisons. And we can say, well, look, if the numerator is 0, we don't ever have to compare the denominator. So let's go find our double equals.
Why? Oh yeah, because
it's 0 of those.
It can be anything.
Right. Exactly.
It could be 0,002,305.
Right.
But it wouldn't matter.
Exactly.
It could also be 0, 1.
So here we go. Our fraction is equivalent. We're calling that. So now we're going to go here. And so now denominators match. What I want to do is I'm going to introduce a local here for this one. And I'm going to call it denominators match.
I feel like whenever I'm working with fractions, everything feels very cheaty. Cause like you switch around numbers and get the reciprocal and multiply. When it feels like in math you shouldn't be able to do that and have it still work. Or
so they tell you what you can do
out
without explaining why
it
works. I totally get that. So if numerator is equal to 0, I'm going to do one thing, and otherwise I'm going to do something else right here. And you've got 2 lines of code here I'm giving you. See this line on line 137, this one here? You have to figure out which space each one of these go in. Okay? And then down here, we're just going to use that denominators match to see what's going on. Okay, can you figure out?
Can you say that again?
Yeah. So these 2 lines need to move. You need to move this line and this line. Their moving spots are either this space or this space. And then I was just saying, I was pointing out that denominators match is used down here to see if they're actually equivalent. So I checked to see if the whole numbers match, the numerators match, and the denominators match. That's what I'm looking for. Sorry, let me get my mouse off your screen.
Wait. I believe that the denominators match goes here because,
Can you move it and we'll discuss?
yes. I feel like it's this because if the numerator is equal to 0, then you can make the denominator anything and it will still be.
Okay,
The
delete line 137 because we're moving, we're not
Oh
copying.
yeah.
Okay,
Ooh, ha.
need a closing curly brace, good. And then so therefore this one goes in line 135 is your suggestion.
Yes.
So if numerator is not 0, then it totally matters. Whoops, hit undo. And it may not be in the clipboard. It looks like you maybe hit a copy. No, you're good. All right, that's what I contend that's the solution. I just want to come in and I want to move the block delimiters there and there because it's a nice simple statement. That's the solution. I think that's going to go fix it. Let's go run all our test cases.
Okie dokie.
Oh, we're to debug. We could maybe go right up 1, like here. Oops, no, not going to do it. Okay, let's go run it again. Go ahead and run it one more time. Go ahead and run them all.
Yay, it all
Nice.
worked.
Nice. So I love that. So we actually have several different ways of testing, comparing 0. What would also be really kind of cool, let's go to new test method real quick. Call it matches 0. Like that.
Yes.
And I really don't need this much. I'm just going to grab like this. I just want to do a couple tests here. I want to say, hey, we're expecting 0. And can we get to 0 with like this? Okay? Can we get to 0 with that? Can we get to 0? Fine with that. Can we get to 0 with, this is always got to be 0 here. Can we get to just the number 0 from here? And we're going to have to,
Yeah, that's 0.
we're going to have to cast this to a decimal. So CDE, cast to decimal, like that, in order to get that one to work, I think. And then the same thing with like a negative number down here as well. And the same thing with just a 0 right here. All of these should pass.
Yes.
The negative one didn't pass? Let's set a breakpoint in there. Actually not here. I want to do it in our operator equals our fractions equivalent. I want to set a breakpoint here. See what's going on. Okay. Let's debug it. And I'm going to comment out these so we don't hit there first. So we're just going to hit the first equivalent. We'll be right in there. So we'll debug only this one. See the strategy? Okay. Ooh. Denominator is a negative number. That's why it's failing.
And it thinks that it must always.
I'm okay with that as a fail point. The problem is with our test.
That's kind of what we wanted it to be.
It's exactly what we wanted to. In fact, we even have a test for that. So yeah, that makes sense. So we can't do that. Let's test these then. Good.
Woo.
Okay. All right, cool. Okay, multiplication now. We were saying what? We were about line 150. We didn't make too many changes to it. Right around here. So you've got this operator minus that very cleverly does all the work of plus by simply just calling create negative and then doing a plus operator on it. Can we do the same thing to get an operator divide? And that's you. That's you, buddy.
Okay. I'm thinking we kind of already do have it, right? With the reciprocal thing.
That was why, as a confession, that is why I said let's do this first.
Okay, wait, one sec. Ooh! Idea. Here, we need to do. What is the template for a public static method?
Well, if do you want to public static method?
Yeah.
There's no just a static method. There's no visibility, public or private. You do that afterwards with Alt up and down.
Yes.
But if you want to create something similar to what we've already got above, just duplicate it. Is that what you're doing or not? Just
Yeah, that's what I want.
yeah. So duplicate that.
Shift enter. Super number. Yeah, that's okay.
You're gonna escape
I'm
if
just
you want
gonna,
to
yeah.
select, go with everything.
Okay. So for right now, everything.
Wait, before you do anything, look at your minus
yeah,
on line
yeah,
165. What does that have to become? Is it the other one? Or is it that one? What
It's
is it?
this one.
It's that one? Okay, great. All right. Yeah, it looks like that's good. Okay. So now what are we doing next?
Here, quickly, I just want to change this to a multiplication sign.
Okay, I agree with that.
And then this to.
Oh, we should have we should have renamed that, but then we'll just copy it.
Reciprocal.
Nice.
Control C.
I like that name.
Control Shift boom. Control B. Oh
Didn't
no!
paste.
I accidentally hit
Control C and Control B if you want. You don't have to select it the whole thing. Control B will at least replace. All right. What about this call to create negative at the end of line 167?
We need to change this to create reciprocal.
Alt Shift. Remember Alt Shift and left and right arrows.
Alt Shift boom.
There you go. That's how you do it fast.
That.
Looks like you might have. Wait, you have override
I
mode on.
accidentally hit insert.
There you go. Nice job. All right, open paren. Good. I think that's it. I think that's your solution to your divide operator overlay. Because it doesn't matter if it's decimal or not. Oh, wait. Maybe it is. Can we call it create reciprocal if it's decimal? Oh, yeah, we can. We added the code.
Yeah.
That said it's just going to be 1 over the piece. This is going to be awesome. All right, cool. Let's go look at our test case. Now we need a test case to test divide. We've got test multiplication here. I would contend this is a great place to add our test divide. Go ahead.
Okie dokie. No. Test. Divide. Boop. And then here, we want to do.
Well, we got to create some super numbers. I think I created a template on your machine called NSM. NSN for new super number. N. And then you could just kind of specify what the values are.
Yeah. So.
Fine, we could just keep this one, 1 2/3. That could be 1. We also have the super numbers at the top of this class that we created as well. 1 6 2 12ths. See the references up above?
I think I'm going to get rid of this just because.
That's fine.
The comment, because it was taking up.
No worries. Just do a semicolon here and then hit the coder key and declare a new variable for that. Or wait, you know what you could do? If you don't want to create the variable, Look at this. You can do this. You can just cut this to the clipboard, type in AE for R equals. You can create your answer here, and over here you could do your equation. See that?
Oh,
And
that's true.
so now if we say we're going to divide by 1 2/3, that's the same as dividing by 4/3, which is the same as multiplying by 3/4, I think. Right? So what
Yeah.
that means is if I did this, I could put a 1 there, and I could put a 0.75 here, and the decimal, the implicit conversion to decimal should all work. It's a DE there, I guess, or wait, no, DE is M, like that is what I think it is.
Yeah.
What's a super number, asked Surly Dev?
It is our class. It's a class that we created for a whole number, so 1 3/4, or a fraction, just a regular, or sorry, a mixed number. When I said whole number, I meant mixed number. So 1 3/4, or just a regular fraction, so 3/4, or a decimal, so 0.75, or 1.75,
Yeah.
anything like that.
So we have, it looks like it's already going to convert it to a decimal for us automatically. So let's just run this test divide and see if it works, see if our math is right in our heads. I'm looking for a pass. Oh, I got a fail.
It expected.
It got 0.6. Is my math wrong? Oh, I think it is. It's not 4/3. Hold on a second. It's 3/3
is
plus 2/3,
5/3.
which is 5/3, so it's 3/5.
Yeah.
So 3/5 is 0.6. They're right. I was wrong. This should pass now. Pretty clear that one's going to pass. Sweet. Test divide works. We can do also like a divide by 0 expectations. We can do those kinds of things. That is pretty cool. I kind of feel like that's a great stopping point, by the way. I don't know if there's more stuff you want to do. We haven't talked about powers yet, but powers, we're kind of starting something new. That's kind of what I'm thinking we will.
We've worked on powers before, though.
Yeah, I think you're right, but we didn't store them separately. And so that's kind of the piece that we need to kind of think about. And I have a feeling that once we add powers, we're going to have to rewrite all of our multiplication pieces, all of that stuff. We're going to go look at what does a power do if a number's got a power stored inside of it.
And then
So-
maybe we.
So maybe
Do
some
stuff.
time. Let's give me some time on that because I think my brain needs a little bit of a break.
Okay.
Okay. What else? What were you going to say? You said maybe something else.
No, I was thinking of powers. I said maybe we stop then.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe is there something else that we can do quickly?
Well, we still don't. We've got loads of test cases, but we
we
still
don't-
don't have a way to type these in.
Exactly.
We built our regex helper here to be able to take these and turn them into, you get this decimal fractionator, which has got these values in. So what we could do is we could probably very quickly go into our, let's go find our the Solution Explorer here and bring up, we got SuperCalc Core, SuperCalc Test. We don't have, oh, here it is right here. This is our WPF application. So what we can do is create, I think we can create some interface pretty quickly here. I'm going to change this to a stack panel and we'll make it vertical. And inside the stack panel, I'm going to create a text box and we're going to call it TBX whole 1, like that, and that's whole 1, and yeah, I kind of want it to look good, so hold on. I think inside here I'll do a grid, and inside the grid we're going to have the text box. That's going to be the whole number. I'm going to say the text is going to be equal to 1. Boy, does that font need to go increase way up. No font control there. I think I have a font size here. Font size here is equal to 22. 38. Okay, that's fine. All right. So we've got the number 1 showing up there. Then I want to get I want to create a rectangle. This is going to be for the line. The fill is going to be equal to find plumb. Okay. The width is going to be equal to, I don't know, say maybe 80. And the height is going to be equal to 4, like that. Okay, see that? I've got that piece now. Maybe instead of a grid, I put it in canvas. I think I have better positioning here. Well, maybe not. I can use margins here as well. So we're going to set, so instead of setting margins here, I'm going to do this. I'm going to zoom in on this, and I'm going to put it right here, like this. I'm going to go back to the text box. I'm going to make its font size even bigger for the whole. Let's make it 56. Okay, so there's our whole number. Got it? Whoops.
Yeah.
I'm going to take this guy, move this guy to about right there. I'm going to change his width to about 40. No, 60. Okay. That. Look at this, let's bump it up to like about 140. Okay, we need 2 more text boxes, one on the above it and one on the below it. So TBX here for the text box, TBX numerator 1, and numerator 1 is going to have the text. I'll throw a 2 in there, I suppose. Sorry, move my mouse to the other screen. There it is right there. 2, I want to put this guy. There. Looks like its background is white. Looks like it's really big too. Let's try setting its height to like 80. Can we do that manually? Not changing the height, it looks like. Let's change the background fill. Let's change the fill equal to transparent to background. Background is equal to transparent. Okay, there we go. Now we can see over it. Right, so we've got an edit box there. But I can do that. So that just brought its margins in. I see what's going on. Okay, so there's text box 2. Okay, for numerator 1. One more, this is going to be denominator 1. See where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
So denominator 1, and its text will say it's equal to 3. And we're going to take it and drag it down to the bottom. Okay, there is piece number 1. And it's all in here, so we should be able to, nope. Hold on, that's the text box. I want to do this, I think. I want it right aligned too. That one I want to definitely right align that guy. Horizontal alignment is equal to right. That should have maybe worked. Let's double check it. Let's add the text 1, 2, 3. Perfect. See what's going on. A little bit of space there I think we need. And is there a max width on this thing? It's not, that margin is just bizarre. I want no left margin. I don't know if there's a way to do that or not. Is that the way to do it? No, because we just crop off. Okay, let's just make it really big so we can have big numbers. And maybe I don't want horizontal alignment right. Maybe I just want text align right. Text alignment is equal to right. There we go. Okay, that feels better. All right, so I've got this is my big number on the top. You know what? I have to confess and admit right now, Kimball. The my layout isn't great. It's not great, but I've at least got those right there. So we take those And I'm now going to take those and I'm going to take this whole grid and I'm going to duplicate the grid. And inside that grid, I'm going to now change the number of these pieces. So the names. So these are all 2s right here. And now we've got 2 of these, one on top of the other. I'm going to add a little bit of margin right up in here, where I'm going to add about like maybe 40 up above between the 2 numbers. So now we can add 2 numbers in.
Yeah.
I'm laughing. You know why? Because I'm like, oh wait. So while this looks really cool, we created the. Do you want to finish that, or do you want to?
I think I might know what you're talking about. We only have it available for division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. We would have to stack them horizontal. Yeah.
We have to select one of those.
Wait, what? Sorry, what?
Are you saying we have to select one of those?
One of what?
Let's do this. Hold on.
So for addition, multiplication, and subtraction, it would have to be, it would basically have to be this fraction here, and then operator in the middle. But for division, that works.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create 2 text boxes at the top for 1 and 2. Then I'm going to create a button somewhere down here, like some radio buttons. Maybe down in here. Maybe between these 2. RB radio button. So this is going to be RB add.
RB subtract.
Subtract.
And then the subtraction.
Minus. RB multiply. And that's going to be times symbol and RB divide. Like that with the divide symbol. These, they're taking up a lot of space. I'm going to take those 4 and I'm going to create a new stack panel and I'm going to make it horizontal. Yeah, good job anticipating that. And then I'm going to set its horizontal alignment to center. Okay, so now I've got these, see them right there? Mm-hmm. They're kind of close together. I want to come in here and do some margins on these guys right here. Let's say left margin is, maybe right margin is 20 on that. And then I want to copy that and paste it to the other 4 places. Okay, actually I don't need one on the last one. Okay, so now we've got those 3 options, those 4 options there. Well, that 20 should be maybe a 40. Okay, good. So now, and I think one more margin on this to just move those down a little bit. So, whoops, I didn't need 90. 90 actually could work. I'm gonna do M0. And then on the top, I'm gonna do like 20. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So we've got 2 numbers, number 1 and number 2 here. They're not labeled. This is really bad UI.
Yes.
But we've got this. These 2 are gonna fill these pieces out here. And then what I wanna do is I want to, let's make this a little bit bigger. And then I want to put my answer like down at the bottom, I think. Okay, so we're going to come down here and we're going to say, grab one of these and come down and paste it in, and we're going to now change pole 2 to 3, numerator 3, like that. Okay, and let's take this. What's going on? What did I move down? I definitely did not move down what I thought I did. I moved the stack panel down. That's not what I wanted to do. I want this guy to be like 850, 650. Okay, good. Got it? All right, next. We want to do an on change event handler where we've got 2 minutes. If I double click this, no. There we go. Not selected. These 2 pieces right here. So what I want to do here is I want to say, go out to my decimal fractionator right here. In fact, is here. This is a sample code. And I want to do something like this. My decimal fractionator is decimal fractionator.create. Oh, why can't I see it? This is in what project? Where is it? SuperCalc Core. Okay. SuperCalc Core. Why can't I see it here though? Decimal fractionator. Looks like we didn't add it to here. Let's add it. There it is. And I think we need the regex helper too. Both of those weren't added, it looks like. Okay, cool. Better. Okay, back over into main window XAML. So at this point now I should be able to add that unit. No. Let's add a reference to it. Are we not adding a reference to it yet? So we say add a reference. We want it to be a project reference to SuperCalc Core. Not the tests. We don't need to reference the tests, right? We just reference the core. Now with the core reference, all I should be able to have to do here is add that using statement. But now instead of passing in 1 1/3 to here, I'm going to pass in tbx number 1 dot text. Then I'm going to come back and say, hey, if that's not null, that means we got something of value. Then I'm going to go back to my main window. I'm going to fill in that number we found right in here.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's inside of tbx whole 1. These are the 3 text fields I got to change. So I'm going to come here and see tbx whole 1 dot text is equal to the decimal fractionator. Oh, what does it have inside of it? It's only got these 3 properties. I wonder if decimal fractionator can't take a fraction. Let's go look at that decimal fractionator. Nope, decimal's there too. It just didn't generate code for it. I'm going to just add it real quickly here. Decimal, like this. And we're going to grab decimal like that. And decimal value. Maybe we'll call it like that. And let's go find where whole number is declared. And we'll do that. And I think that might get us a little bit better. Decimal value. And then what we want to do is, so I won't work with decimal value, but we are going to work with whole number here. So we're going to say whole1.text is equal to whole number dot toString. Let's just double check. Whole number is a double. Yeah, so we'll say toString. Okay. That's whole 1. Numerator 1. Its text is equal to numerator. And then down here, we're going to go to denominator 1 is equal to denominator. All right. That is this piece of it. Let's copy this, paste this down here, change the 1s to 2s. Whoops. And this is going to grab from text box 2. Let's just try that. Let's see if we get that close. And that'll be our ending point. So I'll come in and say 1 1/3. Oh, look at that. And I'll come down here and say 2 2/3. And as soon as I get it so it matches, look what it's doing.
Yeah.
So not bad. I don't like the boxes around here. The UI is kind of like really not great.
But
the idea is that we're really,
better.
really close to being able to make this work and put the answers out there.
Yes.
Right? You'll be able to do 1 1/3 divided by 2 2/3, not even think and see the answer. That's kind of what the goal is. All right, kids, let me get a, thanks so much, Campbell, for helping me out.
You're very
I appreciate
welcome.
it. You definitely, I guess you should see part of your Dev Express paycheck coming into you today for kicking serious butt today.
Maybe.
No, not really. Let me get ready going.
Okay. See you guys tomorrow.
You want to check that code in?
Tomorrow.
Check that code in. Because what did we do? We added divide, multiply, and worked on the UI a little bit.
We are on. Oh, we don't have one for SuperCalc.
Should. There it is, right there, the second from the bottom. Just double click it. Sometimes, yeah, I noticed that it seems to want to
So
like close those down.
Added. It was basically just overloads for
Operator overloads.
operator.
Yeah. I'll start the red. Kids, thanks so much for joining us. Checking in the code. It's over at KidzCode 1 on GitHub. We'll talk to you later.
Subtraction, division, and I think that's it.
All right, we did it. That is done.